You are here today because you were meant to hear a message that did not arrive by chance. There are powerful, pivotal moments in life when the heart naturally slows down and quietly fills with waves of doubt. Even though deep inside you, in that hidden place where your most authentic truth resides, you have already sensed the answer. This is exactly one of those profound moments. What you are about to hear is not just ordinary information or a series of random words. It is a direct and energetic response to what you have been softly whispering to the universe for many days, perhaps even weeks in the silent corners of your mind. Today you will arrive at the exact point where your deepest inner knowing finally meets the reality you have been waiting for with such patience. I know you have felt a unique bond that goes far beyond normal logic or simple explanation. If you truly want to understand the depth of this person's real feelings for you, take a moment to acknowledge that feeling right now. You have perceived an undeniable magnetic pull and a soul-level bond with a specific person that simply cannot be described in everyday language. Sometimes, during your more vulnerable moments, you have convinced yourself that this was all just a temporary illusion, a desperate wish born from your heart, or a daydream created to escape the sting of loneliness. But today, I want to share something with you with complete certainty and without any reservation. The love you have felt, that electric surge moving through your entire being when you think of this person, and that strange, haunting sensation of having known them for an eternity, is not just imagination, not a coincidence, and definitely not a story you are making up to feel better. There are clear, profound, and consistent signs that have appeared in your life pointing toward a truth you may not have dared to fully embrace because of the fear of being hurt. And today you will finally understand why this person truly loves you, even if their outward actions might seem to suggest something else entirely. Your doubts will begin to fade away as you confront the undeniable evidence dwelling inside your own spirit. It does not matter if you have lately felt a strange heaviness in your chest, or if this person has suddenly become more reserved, colder, or distant. I want you to understand that this silence is actually a vital part of the message, even if it feels painful and confusing right now. When the universe confirms a connection between two souls, it does so in a way that your inner being recognizes long before your mind is able to process it. That is precisely why you are here. You needed a confirmation that does not come from empty spoken words, but from something vibrating at the same frequency as your own spirit. Sometimes we struggle so hard to explain emotions that were never meant to be solved by the intellect, but were designed to be experienced on a much higher level of awareness. What you are feeling right now is not madness, not anxiety, and certainly not an unhealthy attachment as you sometimes worry it might be. What you are going through is the exact necessary process for someone who is destined to experience a love that rises far above the ordinary. It is a love that shatters the boundaries of simple, surface-level relationships. You are witnessing the beginning of a deep recognition between two souls that chose each other long ago, long before you ever became aware of this current life. There is something the universe wants you to hold in your heart today. Your doubts are not actually created by a lack of love from this other person. Instead, they originate from your own old wounds that have not yet fully healed. When someone with true love enters your life, bringing an energy that shakes your balance and eyes that seem to peer directly into your soul without even needing to touch you, old pain inevitably rises to the surface. Your inner defenses react instinctively to what feels new and unfamiliar. The soul recognizes its counterpart immediately, seeing it as a mirror and as something essential for its own growth. Yet the mind, which has been conditioned to avoid pain and protect itself at all costs, begins to construct walls of doubt and denial. That is why you have so often lain awake in the quiet of the night, asking yourself if this love is real, if the other person feels the same way, or if you are losing your perspective by believing in something you cannot physically see. If you have been feeling that deep soul-level connection with someone lately, then you know exactly what I am talking about. And yet, the same pattern repeats itself over and over again. Whenever you try to pull away, when you decide to close your heart, block the feeling, and convince yourself to forget everything, something invisible, gentle, and incredibly strong pulls you back. This force that keeps you from letting go is not weak pride, not emotional dependence, and not just stubborn hope. It is the shared vibration of two souls that the universe has quietly aligned without asking for permission, without following logic, and without needing any words at all. You have often asked for a clear sign, staring up at the sky or closing your eyes in hopes of receiving some kind of confirmation. Even though many signs have already appeared, they often seemed too subtle for you to trust completely. But today, you will start to realize that every single detail carries significant weight. Think about that look that turned away only when it became too revealing, that message that seemed casual but held a much deeper meaning, and the way your own energy shifts whenever this person is near, or even when you simply bring them to mind. True love, which is born from a spiritual connection, does not always show itself first through big, dramatic declarations or grand gestures. Often, especially in the early stages, it communicates through deep, meaningful silence. It is a silence that feels heavier and more significant than saying, "I love you." It manifests in those slightly awkward actions that might look small to others, but hide a powerful inner devotion that has not yet found its proper voice. If you want me to reveal the undeniable signs that this love is truly real, just listen closely. Today, life wants you to understand that this person is not actually unsure about their feelings for you. The one who has been unsure is you. This is not because you are weak, but because this love entered your life at a time when you were still learning to stand on your own, and its sheer intensity understandably frightened you. When someone carrying the energy of true love enters your world, they do not arrive to harm you. They arrive to awaken you, to help you heal, to turn your attention inward, and to make you challenge your old limitations regarding love and connection. This inner transformation can often feel like pure, raw fear. However, you must realize that this fear is not born from a lack of love, but from the overwhelming power of what is now entering your life. This person looks at you even from a distance with a kindness they cannot fully hide, with a respect that feels entirely natural, and with a softness that exists only when a heart has already chosen in the silence. I know that at some point, perhaps even quite recently, you believed this person was walking away for good. You thought their silence meant they no longer cared, and their distance served as evidence that the feeling was fading away. But the universe did not lead you to this moment just to give you another incomplete story or another emotional wound. When a connection is guided by a higher force, it does not fall apart simply because of human confusion or temporary silence. What is meant to be holds on even during mental storms, even when messages go unanswered, and even when you start to doubt everything as a human being. So why do you feel so much internal chaos if the connection is truly real? It is because real love does not come into your life to keep you exactly the same. It comes to transform you, to strip away your illusions and to teach you the values of patience, trust, and faith in what cannot yet be seen. This chaos is a sign of your own growth, a sign that something old inside you is falling apart so that something much truer can finally rise. One day, when the silence ends and the distance fades away, you will look back and understand that every moment of doubt was actually shaping you for the depth of love you were always meant to receive. The answer does not exist outside of you, but rather within the quiet struggle currently taking place between your logic and your deepest self. If you are ready to fully receive this understanding, then listen with an open heart. The reason you feel so confused, even while your soul seems to already know the truth, leads to the oldest inner conflict of all, the endless tension between the limited thinking of the ego and the vast wisdom of your true self. This confusion and the internal chaos that sometimes makes you feel like you are just imagining everything comes from your mind encountering something it simply cannot control or explain. And yet, despite all the persistent questions, something deep within you continues to recognize, continues to feel, and continues to return to the same truth again and again. It is something that does not fit into the old, rigid ideas about love that you have carried for so long. Your ego is the part of you shaped by fear, past experiences, and a desperate need for self-protection. It follows one very simple rule to keep you safe from perceived danger. When this connection first entered your life, your ego identified it as a threat immediately. Why did it do this? Because real love, the kind that originates from the soul, asks you to open yourself up completely, to be emotionally exposed, and to surrender without hiding behind a wall of expectations. Your ego, still marked by old scars, shouts at you to be careful because this feels too good to be true and will surely end in pain, so it tells you to run away or protect yourself immediately. From this moment forward, you must learn how to distinguish these two voices. You must learn to tell the difference between the loud, anxious noise of the ego and the soft, steady whisper of your true intuition. The doubts created by the ego always feel urgent, empty, and are filled with a sense of impending fear. They show up as a tightness in your stomach, as a compulsive need to check your phone again and again, searching for some form of proof, just so you can feel a temporary sense of security. The ego tells you that if they do not call you this very second, it means they do not care. It tells you that if they do not say exactly what you are desperate to hear, they must be pulling away from you. It carries a heavy, exhausting energy that drains your spirit over time. The voice of your intuition and the wisdom of your soul actually work in the opposite way. It feels like a profound, underlying calm, a quiet form of knowing that remains steady even when waves of doubt start to appear. Even when your mind tries to convince you that this person has moved on, there is a peaceful, persistent truth in your chest, whispering that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust this process, because that sense of calm beneath the storm is the clearest proof that what you feel is real and perfectly aligned with your highest path. When you feel this peace, you will realize you are not fooling yourself at all. Instead, you are finally touching something that is fundamentally true. This inner conflict is the very thing that has made you question whether your connection is real in the first place. Take a moment to look at your emotional history, because if you were ever betrayed or abandoned in the past, your ego will naturally project that old pain onto your present circumstances. Your ego believes that even this person, no matter how pure the bond between you feels, will eventually hurt you the same way you have been hurt before. So in reality, you are not actually doubting their love for you. You are doubting your own ability to hold on to a love this deep without it breaking you. And that is exactly the lesson you are meant to learn. The universe has placed you in front of this person and created this powerful magnetic pull, so that you can finally face your deepest fears. What you are feeling is not only here to give you love, it has arrived to push you beyond your comfort zone, to shake the limits you have set for yourself, and to force you to question everything you once believed about love and your own personal worth. This love is here to lift you to a higher level of awareness where you no longer feel the need to beg for small scraps of affection. Instead, it invites you to accept the full, abundant love your soul truly deserves. Each time your ego attempts to sabotage this bond, it is actually giving you a golden opportunity to heal an old, hidden wound. When fear and doubt rise up within you, it does not mean your love is fading. It means an old pain is resurfacing so that it can finally be acknowledged and released for good. If you panic, you only feed that fear. But if you stay calm and recognize it for what it truly is, you take away its power entirely. Your connection acts like a powerful light, clearing out your energy and preparing you to receive so much more. And always remember, no matter how hard you try to walk away, no matter how many times you force yourself to let go, something deep inside you always pulls you back. This force is not a chain binding you against your will. It is the shared vibration of two souls who are meant to encounter each other in this life. It is so incredibly powerful that even when you try to block it with logic or fight it with your ego, it remains there like an invisible magnet, gently reminding you of home. But the main question still lingers in your mind. If your souls know the truth so clearly, and if the bond between you is so strong, why does the other person seem so quiet or distant? The answer lies in the deep energetic shift that occurs when two intense souls meet. You must understand that this person is not just a partner to you. They are your strongest mirror. Their arrival in your life awakened everything within you that still needed to be healed. Just as you were shaken by this connection, so were they. This bond is so deep and so pure that it touches the most sensitive parts of their own unhealed wounds as well. For the human mind, which constantly seeks control and certainty, this kind of intensity feels frightening. Therefore, the distance you see is not an act of rejection. It is an act of self-protection from the powerful, overwhelming emotions your presence awakens in their heart. In this dynamic, people often speak of the runner and the chaser. The runner, who is often the one you love, is not actually running away from you. They are running from themselves and from the terrifying depths of the love they feel. They pull away because what they feel is so intense that it overwhelms them with the fear of not being enough, the fear of damaging something precious, and the fear of losing their sense of control or identity. It is the fear of complete surrender shaped by old wounds of being left behind or rejected, wounds that once made a silent promise to never again fall into a love that could break them. That is why their silence is not a lack of care, but a necessary pause. It is a desperate need for them to organize the storm within that your presence has stirred up. Your role in this is often that of the chaser, at least in terms of energy. When you feel the distance growing, your ego begins to panic, and you feel an overwhelming desire to reach out, explain, fix, and prove your worth. But this cycle of running and chasing only makes the distance feel even larger, like an invisible force pulling you further apart. The more you chase, the more the other person feels the need to run. Here is where one of the most powerful and difficult spiritual laws appears, the law of letting go in order to draw closer. The universe does not want you to suffer while you wait, but it wants you to use this period of silence to return to yourself and to heal. The runner can only return when they truly feel that you do not need them to be whole. This is a very clear energetic shift, because as long as you are actively chasing their presence, they will continue to run away. When you finally choose yourself and stand firmly in your own light, the balance can finally shift. When you stop chasing, turn back toward your own inner light, and begin to shine for yourself, the runner feels that change immediately. The pressure disappears, the space between you becomes safe again, and slowly an inner pull begins guiding them back toward you. This pause between you is not a punishment, but the greatest alignment the universe can offer. You are apart for a little while so that each of you can heal in your own individual way. The source itself works to clear your fear, close your old wounds, and bring order to what currently feels like chaos. It does this so that your eventual reunion will not be built on a foundation of need, attachment, or fear, but on a foundation of strength, fullness, and the conscious choice of two whole souls who choose each other freely. When you focus on your own growth and inner calm, You effectively cut the cord of fear that once tied you to the cycle of chasing. If you take the time to share this message, you are letting others know they can receive this same confirmation from the universe. By doing so, you also send a powerful message to the universe that you trust your own path. You are showing that you trust your own worth and that you understand what is meant for you will find its way back, not through chasing, but through natural cosmic alignment. This is the only way to break the cycle of running and chasing. The one you love will not return because you push them. They will be drawn back by your peace, your strength, and your renewed energy. Understand that this distance has absolutely no power to destroy what destiny intends to unite. In truth, the space you're experiencing now acts like fire on metal. It feels intense and burning, but it only burns away what is false. So what remains becomes strong and completely unbreakable. The bond of mirror souls is nourished by truth. And the absolute truth is that no matter how far they seem to go in the physical world, they can never escape the echo of your soul. This distance becomes a grand act of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the love the universe has meticulously shaped for you. Keep focusing on your own healing, because as you do, the other person is doing the exact same thing in their own way. Both of you are being prepared, refined, and gently cleared for a meeting that will truly last. When the moment of reunion finally arrives, your connection will feel so grounded that nothing in this world will be able to shake it, because it will be built on a foundation of mutual respect and genuine inner wholeness. If you still feel this person in your energy, even without phone calls or text messages, it is because they continue to love you in silence and think of you far more often than you realize. The small signs you notice each day and the unusual, meaningful coincidences are the ways the universe shows you that your intuition is absolutely real. Now, it is time to talk about these quiet confirmations, and the synchronicities that reveal their love is just as real as the breath in your lungs. The human mind always craves concrete proof, which is why it searches for clear signs, even when the soul already understands everything. However, the universe never leaves you without the answers you need. It simply speaks in a much softer, more subtle language. Its messages do not arrive as legal contracts or spoken promises, but as synchronicities and inner signals. These are undeniable signs that two energies are connected far beyond the limits of physical space. The first piece of proof is how deeply you affect this person. To them, you are someone who moves their entire emotional world. Your presence, even for the briefest moment, touches parts of them that no one else can ever hope to reach. When they think of you or are near you, they feel either a profound peace they cannot find anywhere else or a strong restlessness they cannot quite explain. That is why their actions may seem mixed or confusing. But rest assured, they are not actually unsure about you. They are simply trying to manage the overwhelming intensity of what you awaken inside them. You guide them back toward their true self, while simultaneously revealing what still needs healing within them. True love often reveals itself in those quiet moments when no words are required. Look closely at these moments, because that is where the magic truly exists. Notice how they look at you, because you will find their eyes linger on your face just a little bit longer than usual. And even when they are busy or distracted, they unconsciously search for you in a crowded room. In conversation, you might notice their gaze drifting toward your lips instead of your eyes.